The Benandanti of Italy were unique figures in European folklore. Unlike typical witches, they were seen as protectors of the harvest. Emerging in the 16th and 17th centuries in Friuli, their role was to ensure crop fertility. They claimed to travel at night, leaving their bodies behind and journeying in spirit. Their mission was to combat malevolent forces threatening the harvest. Communities valued the Benandanti for their efforts, considering them defenders against evil. Their practices were intertwined with local traditions and beliefs. However, the arrival of the Catholic Inquisition marked a turning point. The Benandanti's practices began to be viewed with suspicion and fear. Over time, their identity shifted from protectors to persecuted witches. The Benandanti originated in the Friuli region of Italy, known for its rich agrarian culture. Agriculture was the mainstay of life, making land fertility crucial. The Benandanti were believed to be born with a special gift, often linked to being born with a call. This physical mark was seen as a sign of their unique abilities. Their role was to protect the harvest from evil witches and spirits. These beliefs were deeply rooted in Friuli's agrarian lifestyle. Local folklore and customs shaped the Benandanti's identity. They saw themselves as warriors, fighting for their community's prosperity. Their nocturnal battles reflected the ongoing struggle between good and evil forces. This cultural context is essential to understanding their role and eventual persecution. The Benandanti claimed to undertake nocturnal journeys, experiencing out-of-body travels. During these travels, they fought against malevolent witches on the ember days, tied to the agricultural calendar. The purpose was to ensure crop fertility and protect fields from harm. They used bundles of fennel, believed to have protective properties, while their adversaries used sorghum stalks. These nocturnal battles were crucial in safeguarding the community's harvest. The Benandanti's journeys were a form of communal service, fighting for the entire community. Their success in these battles was thought to ensure a bountiful harvest. Their practices were steeped in symbolism and ritual. These nocturnal journeys and battles highlight the Benandanti's unique role as spiritual warriors. Their practices blended folklore, spirituality, and agricultural necessity. This made them stand out from the typical image of witches in European folklore. The Catholic Inquisition played a significant role in redefining the Benandanti's identity. Established to root out heresy and witchcraft, the Inquisition viewed the Benandanti's practices with suspicion. What was once seen as protective began to be viewed as heretical. The Inquisition's goal was to maintain religious orthodoxy, seeing deviations as threats. The Benandanti's nocturnal journeys and battles were reinterpreted as witchcraft. Inquisitors interrogated the Benandanti, accusing them of consorting with the devil. Their explanations were dismissed, marking the beginning of their persecution. The Inquisition's influence transformed the Benandanti from protectors to accused heretics. This shift had profound implications for their community perception. The once revered guardians of the harvest were now seen as witches to be feared and punished. The Benandanti's practices were deeply misunderstood by the Inquisition. Their nocturnal battles and spiritual journeys were seen as pagan rituals. The Inquisitors imposed their religious framework, leading to persecution. The Benandanti's claims of fighting for the community's well-being were not believed. This led to trials and interrogations, with many forced to confess under duress. These confessions were used as evidence of their supposed witchcraft. The community's perception of the Benandanti changed, with fear replacing respect. The Inquisition's efforts created a climate of fear, turning protectors into outcasts. Their persecution disrupted local traditions and created a rift within communities. The Benandanti's practices, once integral to the agrarian lifestyle, were now seen as dangerous. This marked a significant shift in Friuli's cultural and religious landscape. The story of the Benandanti highlights broader themes of cultural and religious misunderstanding. Their practices were deeply rooted in local traditions and beliefs. However, the Inquisition's inability to understand these practices led to their persecution. This reflects a broader pattern of cultural imposition and intolerance. The Benandanti's transformation from protectors to persecuted witches underscores the dangers of religious orthodoxy. The Inquisition's rigid framework left no room for alternative beliefs. This led to the suppression of local traditions and the persecution of those who deviated from the norm. The persecution of the Benandanti had a lasting impact on their communities. It disrupted the social fabric and created a climate of fear and suspicion. Their story is a reminder of the consequences of cultural and religious intolerance.